You know that person you want to be? That vision you have in your head? It's so easy for that to just stay an idea. So the big question is, how do we make it real? How do we build that bridge from some abstract concept to an actual practical guide for living? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today.
It really all starts with this question. How do you bring order to a restless mind? I mean, we've all been there, right? The world is noisy. Our own thoughts can be just as chaotic. So how in the world do we cut through all that and build a life that actually feels, well, like it makes sense?
And this right here just nails the core problem, doesn't it? You can spend forever designing this perfect set of values, this beautiful philosophy for your life. But if you never actually use it, what's the point? It's like having this stunningly decorated room in your house that you just never go into. You're still living out in the hallway.
So that brings us to this gap. And honestly, it's a gap every single one of us faces, turning that framework you've built in your head into a real, lived identity. Let's tackle that head on. Yep, it actually has a name. It's called the knowing-doing gap. And you know exactly what this is. It's that super frustrating space between what you know you should be doing and what you actually end up doing. Because here's the thing, a life that feels coherent, that feels right, it's not found in some theory. It's forged out in the real world through actually applying this stuff. And this quote really drives the point home. Confidence is self-trust built through clarity and action. Think about that. You only start to really trust your own framework when you test it, when you see it work in the real world. You can't just think your way into confidence, you have to act your way into it. So practice is the engine that makes all of this happen. It's what turns simple awareness into an automatic habit. It's what takes your principles and makes them reflexes. And ultimately, it's how that framework stops being an idea and starts being your actual lived identity. It becomes you.
Okay, so if practice is the engine, what's the destination? What are we driving toward? Because this isn't just about fixing a problem, right? It's about aiming for something bigger. It's about, well, living a life by your own design.
And this is the heart of what it means to live a self-authored life. Seriously, think about it for a second. Are you just reacting to the plot twists life throws at you, or are you the one actually shaping the narrative? This is a huge shift, moving from being a passive character in your story to being the author.
Now, this journey, it doesn't happen in a flash. We all start at stage 1, inheritance. We basically get a borrowed map from our family, our culture, you name it. The real work, the fun stuff, starts in stage 2, examination. That's when you start questioning that map. But the goal, the real prize, is stage 3, authorship. That's when the map is finally, truly, 100% your own.
And let's be clear, the stakes here are incredibly high. A life by default, man, that's a life of quiet friction. It's that nagging feeling that something's just off. But a life by design, that's totally different. Decisions get clearer, lighter, your days actually line up with your values. And success, it's not measured by what's outside, but by that deep sense of internal alignment.
Okay, that all sounds great, right? Inspiring. But it begs the question, how do you actually do it? How do you make this real? Let's get super practical now and break down the system for this, the 3 levels of practice.
So here's the whole system in one snapshot. It works on 3 different timelines: daily, weekly, and what we'll call periodic, like monthly or quarterly. Each level has a totally different focus, from these tiny little course corrections every day to the big structural check-ins. It all works together to create a rhythm that keeps your framework alive and kicking.
All right, level 1. This is your daily bread and butter. It's the small stuff that keeps you connected to your principles. We're talking about a simple question in the morning like, what really matters today? A quick check-in midday. Am I acting from my values or just reacting? And then a moment at night to reflect. They seem tiny, I know, but trust me, they add up. Their cumulative effect is what creates that powerful day-to-day alignment.
Then at level 2, we zoom out. Once a week, you get to be a detective for your own life. You look back at your major decisions. Did they align with your principles? You look for those friction points that keep popping up. And this isn't about beating yourself up. It's about gathering intel so you can make smarter adjustments for the week ahead.
And finally, we have level 3. Think of this as the deep structural maintenance. This is where you periodically, maybe every few months, ask the really big questions. Are my core beliefs still true for me? How can I stress test this framework against a new challenge? And, crucially, who can I talk to who will see my blind spots? This is what keeps your whole system from getting stale and rigid.
Okay, so we have this beautiful system. But let's be real for a second. Life happens, right? We get tired, we get stressed, and we drift off course. So what do you do when you inevitably slip up? Let's talk about how to recover.
So yeah, let's just put it out there. What does happen when you slip? Because any system that doesn't plan for human error is a system that's just going to fail. The goal here is not perfection, it's resilience. And this is such a crucial shift in thinking. Practice isn't about becoming some perfect robot who never messes up. No way. It's about getting so familiar with your own internal map that when you inevitably take a wrong turn, you know exactly how to get back on track, and you can do it quickly.
So here's the game plan for getting back on track. It's a simple 3-step process. First, just name it. Acknowledge what happened, no judgment. Second, understand it. Why did it happen? Was it an emotion, a bias, some kind of external pressure? And third, and this is so important, rehearse the alternative. You literally replay the moment in your mind, but this time you act in line with your framework. That mental rehearsal is so powerful. It's actively carving out the path you'll want to take next time.
And really, that brings us to the most important takeaway of all. This life we're talking about, one where your actions and values are in sync, where you feel that deep sense of inner peace. It's not some fantasy. It's not something you just hope for. It's a discipline. It's something you actively build, one small choice at a time.
So, in the end, it all boils down to one final question for you. A really simple one. Who is the author of your story? Because if you're not consciously and deliberately writing it yourself, who is? The choice and the pen are right there in your hands.